Now we're going to tap into actually working with the cards and asking our questions and receiving guidance from Source. So my question is, what energy is really calling to me to tap into, to move forward to the next evolvement of who I am meant to be? Who is this guardian that is guiding me? Show me the way. And after I've asked that question to Source, I like to move my hands across the cards and see my pull. Where am I feeling hot? Where does my hand feel hot? Like I'm feeling some heat right here. I'm feeling some magnetic pull. I'm feeling some attraction. So to me, and I'm tapping in, it's not here. It's really here. So now I might kind of feel into the different cards and see what it is. To be honest, like I said in the last video, I believe Spirit makes things very, very easy. I have this card right here that's very much making itself known, and that's where I'm actually feeling the pull. So I'm going to trust that this is the card that has the message for me. Now, I don't flip over the card and look at it, because that's giving away your power. This is actually where the manifestation happens, in this moment. That I've asked my question, I've tapped in, I've pulled the card, and I don't know what the card is going to say. And I place the card in between my hands in Namaste position. And from here, I meditate. And I begin to ask myself, what do I believe this card has to say to me? Feeling into, who is this card that I'm holding on to? What message does it have for me? And letting my intuition answer that question. The beautiful thing is when you just have the sacred pause, and instead of just flipping it over, you ask your intuition, you're instantly going to know the answers. You're going to realize that you don't need to seek outside of yourself, that the answers already exist within you. So I'm tapping into what this card is telling me right now. It's telling me just strength and perseverance and going with the flow and just carrying on, keeping that momentum going, and also taking the time to rest and recharge and remember why I'm doing this. And if I can just remember my why and why I'm, creating so much in the world, I'm going to be fueled with the energy that I need. So that in itself, I don't even need to look at the card anymore because I just received the message. But we're now going to flip the card and look at it. Wow. Amazing. So I just pulled the Buddha card. Last minute, I was like, I feel like I need my Buddha next to me when I do these videos. And I just pulled the Buddha card. So it's amazing how this works. It actually just makes me emotional. Because our guides are looking out for us so much. And if we just knew how much our guides care for us, we would never doubt ourselves ever again. So before I look into the book, and before I'm even going to tell you what the Buddha card means, I like to look at the card. And I like to look at the imagery of the card. What is this card showing me? So I'm looking at it and I see this wise, happy but stoic man, and he's just sitting in his power. And the world is sprouting to life around him. He has the sun behind him. He has the leaves dancing around him. He has the flowers under him, but he is just so in his meditation. He's planted to who he is. And even with all this flourishment around him, he's anchoring to his truth. So that's just what this image gives me. And it's telling me that even with everything happening around you, you focus on your spiritual path, because as long as you're tapped in and you're grounded, everything around you will flourish. So again, I don't even need to look at the book. Just looking at the picture told me so much. But next we're going to look at the book. So after I've looked at the image, allowed it to give me whatever message it's giving me, I then pull out my handy dandy guidebook, which I wrote. So though I know what the Buddha card says, let me read it to you and see how it fits on for size. And then we'll do a card pull for all who are listening and watching this video right now. So at the beginning of the book, you're going to see there's a little content table, and you'll be able to find your card right there in the content table. And you can, instead of, flipping through the whole book, you can say, okay, I pulled the Buddha. Where's the Buddha? Okay, that's a deity, so that would be under that section, and you would open it up. So let's find Buddha. So Buddha, one who is aware. Buddha is not just one person, but anyone who has an aware and blessed soul. Right now, that is you. You have awoken to your true self and let go of the illusions that were binding you to the material world. You have taken off the mask of security and given a good look into the vastness of your own soul. You've realized that nothing is inherently good or bad, but rather just is. You understand the non-dual nature of the world and are letting go of the judgments of the mind. Hold the knowledge that we are all Buddha nature. It just takes remembering. Wow. So like I told you, these words were channeled through me that even when I'm reading them now, I'm like, wow, it's inspiring because they came straight from source. I was just the vehicle for these. So the Buddha card is reminding me to tap into the awareness that exists inside me. I am not me. I am the soul behind me. I am the observer of the knowing. And it's reminding me to tap into this non-dual higher self, which is exactly what I need to do all of the things I want to do. It's to be in the not doing of them at the same time. Be doing, but not identifying with the doing. So that's what this card just showed me. So this book is filled with so much wisdom on the Yoga Sutras, Ayurveda, chakras, Vedic spirituality, and the deities, the Hindu gods and goddesses. There's so much wisdom, there's so much for you to learn. And something unique that I've done with this deck is I have the upright and reverse have different meanings, which is something that traditionally you do in a tarot deck, but not really an oracle deck. A tarot deck is a specific style of deck with specific cards that date back to France. But with an oracle deck, it's a lot more vast. This is an oracle deck, but I've always really resonated with the upright and reverse because sometimes the message is not all love and light. Sometimes we need to work in the shadows, and the shadows are not a negative thing. Nothing in this book is going to make you feel worse. It's going to always make you feel more uplifted and more empowered, but sometimes we're working with the shadow aspects of something. I could have flipped this Buddha card upside down when I pulled it, and it would have had a different meaning. It would have meant maybe I'm disconnected to the Buddha nature inside of me. Maybe I need to connect to that stillness that's within. So would have had a different meaning if it was reverse versus upright. And both of the meanings are within this book. So you'll be able to work with the deck in two directions. So that's why these 54 cards have 108 meanings, because 54 times 2 is 108. And 108 is a very auspicious number in the Vedas. It is the number that always continues. It's very divisible by 2s, 4s, 8s, etc. But when you're practicing yoga and you're doing, the vinyasas, the Surya Namaskars, you do 108 of them, especially on auspicious days. So 108 has such magnitude, and it's no coincidence that there are 108 meanings to this deck. So before we wrap it up, I'd love to tune in and pull a card for all of us who are watching. You can pull cards for people who are not there. You can pull cards for people you've never met, and it's by tapping into the Akashic records. The Akashic records are the field of limitless potential where all possibilities exist. It is the realm of infinite possibilities, Akasha as they say in Sanskrit, and it is a field that we all have access to. When you're downloading information from source, it is through the Akashic records. So when we tap into this layer, the Akash, We remind ourselves to see things from the highest lens, to not add in our own judgment, our own personal beliefs, our own baggage, and to fully use ourselves as conduits of the divine to see from the masters and the loved ones and the ascended guides who exist in these Akashic fields. So allow us to tune in right now. If you're listening to this, just close your eyes and take a breath. Another breath in. And this time really from your belly. Deep inhale in. And sigh out. Connecting to the field of infinite possibilities, to the Akasha, to see ourselves from the eyes of the masters, the lords, and the teachers of the Akashic records, so we can know ourselves in the highest light and receive wisdom straight from Source that will allow us to walk this path as the highest vehicles of who we can be, as light workers, as bodhisattvas, bringing the message of the divine, elevating the wisdom of this earth into the Akashic fields. May the heavens and the cosmos and the earth and the dirt be connected and united as one, and may we be bridges for this divine consciousness. And from this state of connection, of pure receptivity, of anchoring in and channeling above, may we choose the card that has the meaning for all who are watching this video at this time, at any point in time, in the past and the future, all who are listening, all who are watching, all who are present in this moment, where may we pull this card for our highest understanding of what we need, what message we need to carry forth moving forward as we bring heaven to earth. Using myself as a vehicle for the divine's message, so I can channel this message without myself, without any of my own mind, but solely being a vessel for the source knowledge channeling through me. And I am feeling right here. Taking a moment to tap into this card's divine message, allowing its wisdom to come through. And if you're watching this right now, allow your wisdom to come through. What do you think this card has to say? What do you need at this time? Wow. So we just pulled the card Radha. So I pulled it upside down. So I will read both reverse and upright. So Radha is a very, very beautiful card. Radha is devotion. She's love. She's commitment. So let's see what the guidebook has to say. But before we do, take a look at this card. What message does it have for you? The upright meaning. Are you in love? You very well may be soon. Radha is the goddess of euphoric bliss and deep surrender when you gaze into the eyes of your lover. She is the passionate lover of Krishna who gave up everything to be in his arms. Radha represents the desire to merge with your beloved and lose yourself in the utter ecstasy that is love. If you aren't already in love, it's well on its way and already occurring all around you. Allow yourself to lose yourself in the divine dance of romance. For love is just you experiencing your own soul in another body. So love is in the air for all of you who are listening and watching. If you are in love, merge with your beloved. And if you're not, it's well on its way. And let's also read the reverse, because when it was facing me, it actually was reverse. Are you afraid to love? There is deep vulnerability that comes with sacred union. When you've fallen in love, your entire heart exists in another body, out of your control. To experience this is to experience true enlightenment. Love is the most divine emotion one can ever experience. And to say no to love is to say no to yourself. Even the most broken heart can be mended again. Become complete within yourself while still holding space for that sacred lover who is awaiting your reunion in this lifetime. And I have a mantra for each deity that's within this book as well. So for Radha, we have Om Radhaya Namaha. And I like to ask about 3 questions every time I'm working with the deck. So you can sit with the deck, ask a couple more questions until you feel complete. And when you're done, you can put them away, give your gratitude to the deck for giving its divine wisdom and allowing these cards to be sources, messages coming through these beautiful pieces of paper. Isn't it amazing how spirit works? I love to work with these cards in the morning to set my intention for the day. I'll be stretching, doing some yoga on my mat, and I'll pull out some cards and I'll ask myself, what is the energy I need for today? What is my intention for today? Who is guiding me today? And I'll allow myself to fully receive what comes forth. So it's a really beautiful addition to your morning routine. You can also work with the cards at night as a really beautiful way of closing the book of the day to say, what energy guided me forth today? What lesson did I learn today? What aspect could I look at differently? And what do I need moving forward? If anything happened in that day that, you may have some unclarity around, you can ask your cards. So the more you work with your cards, the better they're going to work for you, because this is an intuitive practice, and your intuition, especially with the pauses of the waiting, pulling the card and waiting, flipping it over and letting your intuition tell you. These are practices to build your intuition. So I received tons of messages from you guys saying, how do I build my intuition? How do I become a more intuitive person and perceive things and have these, third eye abilities? Well, you practice your intuition, and working with these cards is a beautiful way to start practicing your intuition and seeing what comes up. I've thoroughly enjoyed sharing this beautiful deck with you guys. You can get it on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, wherever you get your books. It is called A Yogic Path. I have a link for it over in my bio. If you're looking at this somewhere else below, you can find the link. Just look up A Yogic Path, and I am so excited to share this magic with you. Namaste.